Scotland-Romania has happened. I'm back in the old setup just for a day. I'm moving about. But yeah, it happened last night. Scotland won pretty gosh darn comfortably. I think it's safe to say 84-0, running in 12 tries. It was a good night for Scotland. Was it enough? We'll see. I don't really want. Was it enough? I think it was, to be honest. But yeah, let's look at it. So, yeah, Scotland ran in 12 tries. Those were through Hamish Watson, Ali Price, Dorsey Graham got 4, Matt Fagerson, Chris Harris, Ollie Smith, Ben Healy, Johnny Matthews, and Rory Dorge. Ben Healy went 11 from 11. George Horn went 1 from 1 off the tee. So a pretty good day for Scotland. Converted all 12 tries as well, which is, I think, quite an unheard of thing to score that many, especially when, some of them were in the corner and stuff. Ben Healy did really, really well. And I think George Horn's conversion was Ben Healy wasn't off the pitch when, and he just kicked it over from point blank range because it was under the sticks, just for speed. And because this was a points grab for Scotland. This game, what Scotland needed to do was not play with my hair, was score points. And they did score points. 84 of them. Now, I said we needed to keep up with what the Boks and the Irish did. We did that and more. We've got a better points difference against Romania than both the Boks and the Irish did by a little bit. I think it was we got about 10 more points against Romania. Points difference. I think we scored more points than the pair of them, but I know in the Ireland game they scored like 82, but Romania scored like 8, I think. So our points difference is about 10 more than both, and South Africa won 70 something, 76 or something nil. So, Scotland did get more points. So at the minute, actually, Scotland do have a better points difference on the Boks. Now, I know the Boks are playing later today against Tonga. I'm fully expecting them to win that, probably pretty comfortably. But for some reason, I'll get this moan out of the way first. The Boks, for some reason, though, are still second. Now, again, I know that even if Scotland were second, the Boks would overtake it tonight. This second's only temporary for a day or so, but it's still something that I think should be addressed. That World Rugby look at head-to-head before they look at points difference, I think is how it goes on, which I think is a bit rubbish. So basically, South Africa are ahead of Scotland because they beat them when they played. And even though they've both got 10 points, they've both played 3-1-2, lost 1, and Scotland have scored more. So I think Scotland have about 11 more points on points difference. Again, just because they've played both Tonga and Romania and got some decent scores. I'm fully expecting South Africa to beat Tonga by more than 11 points. If they don't, that'd be great. So, yeah. What does this mean for Scotland in qualification? Basically, it means for Scotland, as long as they beat Ireland by more than 8 points, and if Ireland score 4, Scotland need to score 4. That's all they need to do. That's all they need to do. What they need to do is simple. It's beating Ireland and then beating Ireland by not just pipping them, beating them pretty. I'm not going to say comfortably because an 8-point win, a solid win, it's not a pip win. It's not a, they didn't cruise them. I mean, they might, who knows, but I don't think anyone can cruise Ireland at the minute. Despite what the All Blacks are looking like, they might well do that in the, yeah. That's that. I'll talk about that when I'm previewing that quarter final if Ireland are in, but I'm about 90% sure Ireland will go in. But yeah, Scotland need to beat Ireland by 8 points. Unless somehow, through some kind of tomfoolery, Tonga beat the Box tonight, then all Scotland need to do is beat the Irish or get a bonus point against them, depending on how Tonga beat the Box. But let's be honest, Tonga are not going to beat the Box. I'd love it to happen, but yeah, it's not. The Box are far too good for Tonga the Box, so I would imagine South Africa will pretty comfortably get at least 50. Unfortunately. But yeah, we're not talking about the Box now, we're talking about Scotland, Romania. There's not much to say. Scotland put in a second team to just score points. They just scored points. Did anyone really put their hand up for the Ireland game? Ben Healy played well, but I don't think, I doubt any 10 in the world that's not already playing in that game. You know, I think the only 10 who would, you might go mud start him over, is Sexton, but he's playing for Ireland, so he's not gonna play against himself. So Healy was good. Maybe he'll be off the bench. As I said in the preview, can you imagine if Healy played well enough to get on the bench, which I think he did. Although why he'd take Finn Russell off, who knows? Although I suspect the Irish will target him. To come off the bench and imagine he scores the winner that would put Ireland out of the World Cup and put Scotland through. Can you imagine? I'm sorry if I just put that, if you're Irish and I just put that thought in your head. Do not worry, it will not happen. You are safe. But it would be quite funny. I would be sitting with a fairly smug face if that happened. I would love it. I'd be loving life. But yeah, Scotland ran Romania, did what they needed to do. I know there's arguments they could have scored a few more, but I don't. With a head-to-head, I don't think that matters that much. I mean, yes, I think that if Scotland were just slightly more clinical, they could have got the ton, 100. But I don't care about that. It'd be unfair on Romania to say that. Romania, I know it doesn't look. They did have snippets. You know, there was a bit of a snippet in the midway through the second half where you thought they were definitely going to score, but Scotland's defence was pretty solid. I'll give you some interesting stats though. In the first half, Scotland had about 75% possession. Romania, although in the second half, that did drop to 60. So Romania's second half was slightly better than their first. But Scotland's set piece is the worry. They lost. They only won 50% of their own scrums. I mean, I know people comment on the lineouts, but they were 14 from 15. They stole 2 as well, which I think that's not too bad. But where I'm more worried is 11 penalties conceded in a game where you're running this riot. You know, Darcy Graham alone almost ran the same amount of metres than the whole of Romania. But you're conceding more penalties than them. That's the worry for me. I mean, it's okay to do that against Romania where they probably won't punish you for it. But next week, if you give away 11 penalties to Ireland, you can be sure that's either going to be 11 kicks or quite possibly 11 tries, which is not going to be good. Or 11 try chances. You know, the Irish won't let Scotland get away with 11 penalties like Romania did there. Tackling, Scotland made 25, missed 12. Romania made 161. Get this, Romania made 161 tackles and missed 72. Romania missed 72 tackles. Mental. absolutely mental. This just shows, the gap between Tier 1 and Tier 2. You've got Scotland, who are 5th in the world still, I think. Yeah. And then you've got Romania, who are 19th. Now, I know that is a gap, but yeah, when you've got the World Cup, the premier competition, and you've still got part-time rugby players, amateur rugby players playing in it. Come on, World Rugby, give some of these smaller teams some funding. They're going out, they're putting a lot of heart and soul into it. I know, I've spoken to a couple of fans online, and I know they just said that they're happy to be there, but come on. You can't sit down and say, I'm just happy to be at the World Cup, even though we're getting beat 84-0 every game. Help the smaller teams out. Don't just funnel all the money to England, Scotland, Wales, Ireland, South Africa, New Zealand. Give the Romanias, the Chiles, the Georgias even, the Fijis, the Japans, all of them who are looking to try, okay, some more than others there, trying to push in. Japan's not been let into the championship because the 4 teams want to keep the money between them. Probably a similar story to Georgia and the Six Nations. When Italy in the Six Nations got absolutely raked by the All Blacks. I mean, it's the All Blacks, but still, any other Six Nations team can give the All Blacks a game, apart from England, get absolutely thumped as well. I know I'm going to get pelts for that one, but I needed to say it. Yeah. Little rant over though. Scotland got the job done. On Ireland next week. This is basically Scotland's World Cup final, let's be honest. Hopefully we can do something. Maybe pull it off. I doubt we will, but I'll cover that later on though. If you enjoyed, subscribe. I know I'm going to get pelters for that England comment, but I don't really care. I'll see you later.